Hi, my name is Emily Wortman, and I'm going to do the takeaways that I found from chapters 1, 2, and 3 from Clay. So, for chapter 1, the biggest takeaway I took is when Clay was talking about the readiness test before kindergarten and how they're questioning it and how if it's the best thing to do. And I totally agree with that. We have to do, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and we do a readiness test before all the kids enter our school. We test them on their uppercase and lowercase letters, if they can count to 100, their shapes, their colors, can they write their name, can they glue, can they cut, and I do think it's important to see what they know, but there can be some issues. And I thought a really important quote that Clay used is, all children are ready to learn something, but each child starts learning at a different point. And in the book, in this chapter, it talks about how maybe not do a readiness test, but how do the child's literacy behaviors change through the first couple years. And I think that's really cool to see where they started and then where they are in first or second grade. We still have to do the readiness test that's required, but I think we could do maybe both readiness and then more observations to see where they're at now and then where they will be. Next, for chapter 2, I thought it was really important when they were talking about teaching young students how to write. My first year teaching kindergarten, when we did writing and journal, I was fussy about, I'm like, okay, it needs to be perfect writing, needs to be straight. Why aren't they getting this? Like, I'm confused. I'm showing them on the board. I don't understand how they're not copying it. Like, I would write a sentence and they would write it backwards, or like they would write 2 words and then 2 words under, and like they wouldn't do a period. And I came to realize they don't know how to do that. I have to teach them. And so in the chapter it says, avoid some demands: print size, straight lines, neat, directions of words, punctuation. And we have to realize that they don't know these things at the start. They don't know that each sentence starts with a capital letter, or there needs to be punctuation at the end, or we write from left to right and it needs to be on the line, and some letters shouldn't be so big and then some are so small. We have to show them these things. And I thought that was really important, and that really resonated with me because that's something I learned as being a kindergarten teacher. The next, chapter 3, is when it was talking about struggling students, and it talked about make sure you're catering to your lower group, and I think that's so important. Sometimes realizing that what you're teaching, some of your low students, they don't understand. So you need to differentiate and make sure they are getting the materials that they need that help them learn. If they're at a level AA book, which we use that, and we're working on level C books, they're not going to understand that. They're not going to be able to comprehend. They're not going to be able to know what we're talking about. So we need to make sure to have many different books of many different levels, make them interested, make it on their level. And I definitely have learned that it certainly would be easier if everyone was on the same level, but that's not the case. So you need to differentiate your whole group instruction, and then also small groups really see what those kids are struggling on and what they need to help them. All right, have a good week.